Hey guys, welcome back to Dip Switch Demos. My name is Jackson, and today we're going to check out 5 of my favourite ambient effects. Broadly speaking, delay and reverb, these are the 5 ambient effects that I think you should be checking out this year in 2022 and maybe putting on your wish list. Like I said, broadly speaking, delay and reverb, but there's one at the end that is a bit of a cheat, so stick around for that. But yeah, let's get into the list. At number 5, we're going to put in the Hologram Electronics Microcosm. Now, it's hard to go anywhere on sort of the guitar, social media, Instagram platform without seeing this pedal somewhere. And for good reason. It is a ambient monster. It's a full ambient pedal board in one huge pedal, basically. You've got different sort of delay textures, reverb textures, kind of octave things going on. Overall, it's just a full package of getting ambient tones. I think if you're going to get one pedal on this list to kind of solve all your ambient needs, this is probably the one. It's not going to get simple delay tones or reverb tones, but it's going to get otherworldly tones that it's just a lot of fun to play around with. Winding it back to something slightly more traditional, to a really great analog delay that does have a few tricks up its sleeve. We're going to talk about the Jam Pedals Delay Llama Extreme. This has been taking care of pretty much all of my delay needs since I got it, and really transformed me into an analog delay lover over a tape delay lover or a digital delay lover. Warm, crunchy repeats that you can really modulate to the extremes as well in some of the tape and modulation modes. But the secret modes in here as well are crazy fun. If not maybe slightly unusable in a band setting, they're still a lot of fun. We have a step sequence mode that pitch shifts the delay repeats, and also a few other random things in there as well that are just hard to use, but a lot of fun, especially when you combine them with other ambient effects and huge reverbs. But I think the main reason why I love this pedal is it just nails simple analog delay. And like I said, it's the one I reach to all the time now. Next up on the list is a spring reverb pedal that sort of takes the idea of spring reverb and runs with it, distorts it, compresses it, and just turns it into something almost unrecognizable. And that is the Jupiter Effects Kaleidoscope. Set all the controls pretty much to minimum, I think, and you get a reasonably normal spring reverb tone, but as soon as you touch any of those controls, things get crazy pretty fast. We also have a bit of a preamp section in here. Think of this pedal almost as a 60s Fender Twin in a box, but more out of control. We can distort the signal, we can compress the signal, we can also really crank up that reverb tone into something insane. If you're kind of bored of maybe normal reverb pedals and want to try something new, but maybe don't want to go too far away from classic tones, then the Kaleidoscope is probably the one you want to get. Next up on the list, number 4, or I guess if we're going backwards, number 2, is a vintage choice. We have the Boss DSD2. I think this is a 1984, if I'm not mistaken, 1984, made in Japan DSD2, and I flipping love this thing. It is essentially inside the same as a DD2, so it has that long chip in here that people seem to rave about when it comes to these digital delays from Boss. But instead of the DD2's hold function, I think it has a sampler, looper, record function in here, which is wild. And I don't really know how to use it, but once you sort of fumble your way through it, you can create some really interesting soundscapes. Again, stack that with other ambient effects or fuzzers, and you've got a really unique tone. But straight up, ignoring all that, this is my favourite slapback delay pedal because it has a great attack on the note, but also can stay pretty out of the way of your playing. It's really great for just adding a bit of ambience and space to your sound. So yeah, I love this thing, and they are a little bit of a steal secondhand because they go for quite a lot less than vintage DD2s and DD3s. And like I said before, other than that hold function, they are internally exactly the same and sound exactly the same. I will never sell this pedal. I flipping love it. Finally on the list is that cheap pedal I told you about at the beginning. And it's a cheap pedal because by itself it actually doesn't make any noise. It is the Electro Harmonix Tri-Parallel Mixer. This has been the biggest game changer for my ambient effects ever. So on my board I have it set up with 3 different ambient effects in the 3 loops. I have the hologram microcosm, like I said, I have the Dr. Scientist Atmosphere, which is a crazy reverb pedal, and then the Boss DD200. And being able to combine and mix those 3 pedals in parallel together is a really, really unique experience that has changed the game completely for me. I did a whole video on this, I'll link it below if you want to check it out, but we're going to get some tones with the parallel mixer and those 3 pedals that I mentioned. Let's get into it. So I hope you found this video interesting and maybe opened your eyes to a few ambient pedals that you may have not considered or looked into before, but also I'm sure you've heard of a few of them before as well. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and maybe check out some more, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.